Okay, I'm going to redo that test using a cloth backdrop that's not reflective, big large one. It's 5 feet. I set up my camera on a tripod with the light, the 8600 Pro, in TTL mode, like this. This time I'm using the newer version of the R2 Pro Mark II. I have the camera set to meter in spot mode. I also have it in manual focus and defocus to try to average out within that spot. I'm going to start off. I should turn this light off here. I don't know if I can do that. I'm going to start off at F8, and I'm just going to go down one stop each one. So here's my first shot. And you can see it's a little on the high side, actually. That's actually probably a stop high. It should be right in the middle. Okay, I'm going to roll down. 5.6. Again, it's a little on the high side. 2, 3, I'm down to F4. Still a little bit on the high side. What I'm finding is anything above 4 tends to be almost a stop too hot. And then, now watch this, it'll be under. And now it's on the low end of the deal. And this is, by the way, with the Tamron, 28 to 75. So it should be legit. So that was 2.8, right? Yep. Okay, so as I go down further into smaller apertures, it gets darker and darker, actually. When we get down into the open apertures of like 1.8 or 1.4, it gets down there really low. So at 2.8, it's still almost a stop, maybe 0.9 or 0.8. I checked it on my computer, under, and it's not always quite that low. It might be half a stop under at 2.8. Now when you get down into the lower f-stop range, then you're looking at more a whole stop plus. Actually, on my one lens that goes down to 1.4, I think it goes down to 1.4 stops under, or 1.3 for sure. So that's pretty bad. And then also at f8, it's a little over usually too, just a touch. So I'm going to try another lens. So I'll join these together. Okay, I'm continuing on with the Sony 1.8 FE lens. I'm going to zoom this back up. Again, spot metering mode, manual focus, out of focus, just to average things out more on a non-reflective, large gray backdrop that should work. Also, let's see, I can do a test shot here at, well, let me go back up to, sorry about the confusion here. So I'll start at f8. Again, a little over. And this is consistent with all of the lenses. That's what's weird. Whoops. Don't want to do that. So going to 5.6. Overexposed. Down to f4. We'll be over a little bit. Yep. And then at 2.8 we'll be under. You can hear it in the pops too. So that was under. And this don't be fooled by the brightness of this, because it brightens everything up, so you can't rely on the brightness of the actual LCD. You need to use the histogram. Going down to f2, it'll be quite low now. You can hear that, and you can see it on the histogram. So that's what I'm finding. Then, interestingly, when you go to 1.8, it's just a touch higher than the 2. So I can predict this. I've done this so many times. So they're both low, though, but look at that. So we got one that's at f8, 1.8, whoops, and f2. I guess they're both low. But we got that to f8. You can see how much of a change there is. Boom, 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 boom. So the TTL is not functioning properly with Sony lenses. Everything's legit. I've been a photographer since 2003, so I know how it should work, and this should be working better than that. I mean, we're talking if I'm going all the way down to 1.4 from f8, I've measured 2.7 stop difference between the two, which is not good. 2.3 to 2.7. Now I'm going to really quickly here. Let's see if I can do this. All right, I just tested on my light meter. I got f9 at 1/2 power on the strobe. So I'm going to set my camera there. Okay, now I just locked it by accident. Okay, so A. Okay, so mode. And we're at 1/2. Set to f9, and here's a proper exposure. See, that's the way the histogram should look. Don't rely on the screen. Obviously, it brightens up things so much that you can't rely on it. I wish it didn't do that, but so that's what it should look like. And then here's what f1.8 looks like. It's at least a stop, at least 1 1/3 stops underexposed at 1.8, and then when you go up to f8, it's about 1 stop over. So I've had 2 1/3 stop difference between the two. Okay, for this test I put on my adapted lens, the Canon 35L 1.4, and it's on the Metabones 5 adapter with the current firmware, starting at f8, and that one's a little bit over. Of course, we're not filling the frame as much with the 35 here. Over again. And by the way, just, I don't know if it's clear on this video, but it should be right in the center, that spike. The right portion of that should be right in the middle, as you know. Don't rely on this screen, it's way off. Anyway, so that's 5.6, 4, it's over. And now f2.8 will generally be maybe close to right or just under. Yep, pretty close to right, but now f2. See, we get darker and darker as we go down. And f1.4 now. And you can hear the pops. So actually, they're pretty consistent from consistently under, I should say. They're consistently over above f4, and they're consistently under, usually around anything below 2.8, but even 2.8 is low on some lenses. So 1.4, definitely you can see it jump around there. So that can't happen. Thanks for watching. Okay, one more time I'm going to retake this test here with the Canon 35 1.4 with the adapted Metabones. I already did an f8 test here, a manual test I should say, to show us a standard exposure. Actually it was f9. So this was the manual reading. Everything's set to manual, f9, that's what the histogram should look like. So then, from which we won't fill the screen. Okay, so now it looks like it's working better on f8. It's a stop over for sure. stop over. Little under. Probably half a stop is usually what I'm finding with the 2.8. 2.0 is quite a bit under. And, oops, 1.4, even more so. So, needless to say, that's a substantial difference. So we're just going to quickly, oops, play. Okay, so that's 1.4, 2.0, 2.8, 4.0, 5.6. Interestingly, 8 is more on inline there. We're in TTL, or in 0 flash exposure compensation. And real quickly here, I'm just going to go through the menu stuff. So you can see I'm not doing anything funny in here. You can pause this if you want to, but I'm going to zip up to right here, next one here. Okay, so you can see the spot metering. Spot metering, point of center, exposure step, let's see here. This is the one. Just kind of, I've read that those are standard settings to change, so I've changed those. But I'll just quickly go through here. This shouldn't have much to do with it. By the way, I've tried it. I saw this back here. The electronic first curtain shutters off. I'll try one like that as well. And it's still under, so that doesn't have any bearing. And I've tried every setting in here. There's nothing that I'm doing wrong that I can tell at all at this point. So I'll play back. Okay, hopefully that satisfies any naysayers. Like I said, I've been a photographer since 2003, so I know how TTL should work. I mean, and I know it's not perfect, but in a testing situation like this, scenario shouldn't be off 2.3 stops from one aperture to another. That's pretty far off, and too unreliable to use professionally. So there's that. Thanks for watching.